and he's not like you sit there and say he's doing PR for a predator, and at the same time, I hope I'm wrong. What a phony you are! What a complete piece of crap! You're just a total dishonest, bad faith jerk off. And by the way, when and I'm sure he'll never go back on Cleeman's stream. That's this is how bad faith they were to him directly, and he handled them.
The legal process.
And by the way, he handled you too in the second video.
Does play out.
And considering the way Willie Mack laughed at the people who Destiny was
I laughed at him too. So you're gonna have to take my word for it. He was critical and fair, but it wasn't good enough for these kids. So you have to take my word. You don't watch anything, do you?
I'm the perfect person to call in where you say to them, "Have you seen this?" and where the answer is
no.
No.
I just think there's a slight chance with you. Like with Jeff, that's like a part of the gag, you know. You know, he's like, "Hey Jeff, you seen it?" Baseball.
No.
You know, but with you. This is different. So I guess you're gonna have to take my word for it. Willie did a good job. He did a good job in the second video. This is criticism. So this guy, Willie Mack, PR for a predator. And he added him. That's what he is. That's exactly what he is. You guys got it right on the money.
About 2 months ago, the commentary YouTuber Willie Mack made a video on Destiny's recent crime.
Hold on a second. Thoughts? Bad Epadon wanted to eliminate Kiefer Sutherland. I hated 24 too. I'm with him on that.
Destiny is a political streamer who likes to lure women with the promise of clout in order to record them.
By the way, he already sounds like a he likes to lure women with the promise of clout.
During the act without their consent, which he then sends to 19-year-old fans without consent. It's an
and what he's going to point out is Willie is totally for all of that.
Even more predatory version of a casting couch, and that only scratches the surface as to how pathetic Epstein is. Legal action is currently...
Did you hear that one? Do you know anything about Destiny? Do you know what happened to him in January? Mitch, you really don't know anything?
No, but I know that he had his girlfriend like in him or some shit.
No, he was he got his count attack. He likes to record people he's having sex with. He even recorded a guy he gave a job to, and it got all over it. And the girls didn't know. You didn't know that?
Well, some people do that, and they go on to become famous rappers.
Like Paris Hilton, or who's that other TV show?
And you with?
Yeah, what's her name? The lawyer's daughter. The one
Kardashian.
Kardashian, yeah. Did she give some guy some sloppy job, got real rich? Or richer?
being taken against him.
Kanye text tape.
Willie Mack has been associating with Destiny for quite some time, a bit over a year at least. He tries to claim in his video that they weren't friends.
Destiny and I were not friends. However, I have a lot of respect for him.
But they certainly were friendly, although I would say their relationship is closer to student and teacher role.
I'm sure Willie's girlfriend would not approve of him recording all those women. Here's how you do it. Here's how you get it done.
Model and hopeful fan, or business associates, then friendship. Destiny acts as Willie's mentor in many of their public interactions.
Because the problem is that
you want to see, like, there are a lot of YouTubers. There are tons of YouTubers that in a situation like with Destiny, you see it with, and I wonder if it happened with iDubbbz. They just full head over heels. The one guy in this business that I've known for the better part of a decade now, the one guy that is truly 100% his own man is WILLMACSHOW. It's too funny.
I have is exactly what happened in our debate where I'm now having to explain every detail. His audience doesn't understand any context of where I'm coming from. We're getting caught up in the weeds of the argument because he's like, or the language of the argument.
Yeah, this is, there's a French philosopher, there's a term I borrowed from him called simulacrum.
Yeah, so I got some questions about the debate you had with the definition guy. So one, what is the point of arguing over the definition?
Oh, how much time you got?
That's him, you know, dopey leftist over there arguing over definition. First of all, Willie hates that, and so do I, because it's a red herring fallacy, and you end up talking about splitting hairs over definitions and stuff. So that was actually a video of Willie challenging him saying, why is that important? And the reason Destiny went, oh, whoa, you got all day, because he knows it's bullshit. One of the things that Willie said to it, did he say this off live, Jeannie, when he was here before? When Destiny is telling the truth, he spits it out immediately. When he's trying to craft a narrative or bullshit you, he does major long talking points. So in other words, the denim situation, it's like, no, I recorded her. She's lying. I never asked her to sleep with me. And she was pissed off that I threw her out, and then made up a story that she got thrown out because she didn't sleep with me. And it was that quick, that to the point. Whereas all the other stuff. So did you send? So did you? Were you responsible for this girl's nudes and video being out? Well, there's a way to look at it. That's what Destiny does.
The nature of their relationship seems much closer than Willie leads on. He reached out to Destiny for
it must be closer.
Comment on his crimes, and even though Destiny initially said he couldn't speak on these matters due to the lawsuits, he still wound up giving Willie some statements to use in his video.
He goes on to say that people named Lav and Kelly Jean have been distributing his nudes, revenge in the literal truest sense. How many crazy women are part of this guy's life? At what point can I victim blame him?
They had an off-the-record phone call together as well.
We did speak in the off-the-record voice call. It was not recorded.
And now, apparently, Willie Mack has been holding on to an interview with Destiny meant for the...
Wow, his language is so bad faith. He's holding on to an interview. By the way, this thing was released over the weekend. Yeah, he was preparing it. Like, it's so bad faith, holding on. It makes it seem like he's keeping something secret, because his personal feeling is there must be something behind this. I don't know it. I can't prove it. But I'll use language that walks right to the door. It's unbelievably bad faith.
Public for over a month. Then I think I'm going to put out the
He's not his own man. He is married. No, he's not married yet, so he's got some time yet, Medine.
Destiny interview later this week. It's worth having out there. And then he says he's been sitting on the interview for 3 weeks. This was a few weeks ago. In Willie's most recent video, he teases his follow-up video on Destiny, which will probably include pieces of the interview.
I'm still working on my Destiny Part 2.
Boy, how did he come to that conclusion? To blasphemy, 24 was the best conservative. It was a joke, James. I'll never watch 24. I hate TV.
Video where I interview a lot of people, including him in it. We discuss a lot of allegations.
People accusing you of doxing, right? Because you're referring to Kiwi Farms. Ryan did this with Anna. And then J-Stock is doing this. Queeman is sort of doing this, where there's DMs about you saying like, hey, I wish this person, has this person been doxed yet?
Yeah, for Anna, that's bullshit. For just like Queeman, I'd kill him if I could. I'd choke their fucking house into it. But not.
That never stops being funny. It's funny because all these people are like 5 foot nothing. That's the thing that really gets me.
For Anna, no.
That was not an effort to dox.
Wait, what's wrong with being 5 foot nothing, huh?
I'll tell you.
I used to be 5'4" when I was applying for the police, and then a recent job I went for, it turned out I was 5'3", and I was like, "That's bullshit."
Well, you never. That's probably why you want to be a cop. You're too short.
No, that wasn't the reason. It was I was too nice.
You're too nice. You got caught smoking or something, right?
No, God, no. I'm very straighty. That's the fucking bullshit thing. I'm very straighty 180, follow the law, everything.
Really?
But they're like, you know what? You just don't have it, kid. You're too nice. You just want to.
Yeah, you weren't going to fit in with those. It's a boys club. I noticed that in the army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you weren't going to fit in. Yeah, nope. You're too much fun.
You're saying?
Yeah, no. What the? Like, why would I even want to do that?
They probably. This guy smells like somebody. If I start beating some fucking Aboriginal, this guy Mitch might snitch on me because he might do the right thing. Yeah. They can sense that. They can sense that. They know. They've seen you before. It's probably why you get the job. Because that's the hand I'd put.
Hypothetically, very hypothetically, if I was locking up prisoners for the night, I would say goodnight to every single one of them individually. Hypothetically.
Yeah. Well, why would you do that? But hey, it's a good thing you didn't get that job. Come to think of it.
Because I'm a human being, and they're human beings, and I like to treat human beings like human beings.
Who cares? It's funny. I had a buddy who worked at Trenton State Prison. He had the Iceman, John List. You know these names, by the way?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, on his block. And he said, I was like, how do you do it? How do you get through? He goes, well, I have to, right before I go out there, I tell myself they're human beings, and I say it over and over again until my shift is over, and then I realize they're animals, and they all probably should bring back the death penalty in New Jersey. And that's how he got through it.
The Iceman, that's the guy that would fucking murder people and then freeze them, so then when the police found the body, they wouldn't know exactly.
Kinda. They found out that he's a complete fucking idiot, and he probably didn't start murdering. All his coming to Austria and whacking people and saving people from pedophiles is a whole bunch of horse shit. He started fucking clipping people in the 80s, in his 50s. And he says that he was getting old, so he wasn't as sharp as he used to be. But what really happened is he had nowhere to put that guy, so he put him in a freezer, and then he dumped him on Clinton Road, a road I've been on in, I forget the name of the town that's in. I've actually been to the place where they dumped the body. So the New Jersey State Police New Jersey State Police had a vested interest in making him into this like sophisticated hitman. He was just a bum that was loosely connected to the mafia. That's it. Yeah, he's just a bum, you know. And the murders are really dumb, you know. But he likes to say, no, all the other ones you don't know about. I was getting old. I was getting in my 50s. You know, it's a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah, like what am I? Want somebody to kill her? What? Like that's fucking. I do want somebody to kill Jistical though, or Lav, or Mr. Girl, or Queeman. Those people can all die.
So Willie Mack is choosing to platform a violent psychopathic criminal.
That's another thing the lefties do. Pretend to take you literally. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, he's not killing anybody. That's another common tactic. Well, there's no hyperbole if it doesn't benefit my argument, you know?
Criminal who wants other creators doxed and murdered and is laughing
he does want him doxed, in fairness.
About it on Twitter. These two are so unlikable, referring to the people Destiny doxed and wants dead, even when they're being threatened with their dox. Notice how...
Yeah, they are unlikable. They're obsessive, compulsive weirdos that are a lot like you and try to shoot things into rape that aren't even close. This guy is bad enough. You don't need to lie about him.
He doesn't mention the death threats. I can't help but notice how big off losers they are. Lol. Willie, where'd that supposed journalistic integrity and profession?
It's his Twitter account.
Journalism.
Now he's going to criticize him for journalistic integrity failure on his Twitter account, and then he's going to criticize him for platforming him. And get to the bottom of the story.
Go.
I want to preface this video by stating that I was the only one that reached out to everyone involved in this story, and that the victims weren't just used by Destiny, but by YouTubers trying to frame themselves as heroes. I pride myself on doing...
That's what pissed him off. Listen, fuckhead. And that's exactly what happened. President Sunday and, well, Beckett and Krabs there, he just blew it, you know. Thanks so much for the new membership, Grizzly Bear. Appreciate it. Old Beckett, 24 months. Appreciate it. Beckett blew it.
A good job, and this video is finally up to those standards.
Because
what's that?
Oh, he's a filthy ranger. Nobody likes him.
I actually like Beckett, but he is a bit of an airhead. I don't think he has a bad bone or an insincere bone in his body, but you know, I guess he didn't have his shit right. He didn't cross his T's and dot his I's. I love this. The guys like President Sunday and Beckett who fuck shit up are fucking heroes. And the guys that actually crosses the T's and dots the I is the predator protector.
Because to me, it looks like you have no clue what you're talking about. Reaching out for comment can be helpful sometimes.
Except if it's somebody I don't like. Then you can say whatever you want.
However, it is not the ultimate journalistic tool, especially...
Let me ask you something. You're a fucking YouTuber with 33K. I mean, who gives you the... who made you Dr. YouTube? Queeman?
Actually, when we're talking about a guy with the nickname Epsteiny, you shouldn't read...
So he has a nickname called Epsteiny, and he's a piece of shit, so you can throw all that shit out the window. Great eyes.
Reach out to Destiny for interview on his crimes for the same reason you shouldn't platform and befriend...
His crimes. He hasn't been charged with shit. So do I split hairs here and say you're not using hyperbole, that you're deliberately spreading misinformation because he hasn't been charged with anything, and the suit right now is civil?
Someone like Mr. Girl. It doesn't really matter if you speak out against touching kids and violence if you befriend and platform people who advocate for such things. You are giving them...
I don't think this guy's any fun at parties. What do you think, Mitch?
No.
Yeah, like you tell a joke, he takes it too seriously. He gets, hey, we're just joking around. I have to correct you. I have to virtue signal all of you and ruin the party.
an opportunity to downplay and normalize their behavior, maybe even make it
That's what he was doing.
look cool. Willie Mack's tweet is the perfect example of this tactic working. He's downplaying Destiny's desperate and violent rhetoric and turning the spotlight on the people who were threatened. Because in Willie's mind,
Well, here's the thing. Queeman and Jessical are dishonest stooges that were completely bad faith. When he, by the way, took them on, he slapped them around like the bitches they were. And I guess this guy doesn't like that. And he is. They're completely insufferable people. They're total losers. Total losers. And he doesn't like them. No, I don't think there's anything in the thing is like good they got doxed. He actually questioned Destiny. And the only reason you know he's a straight up psycho is because Willie did the fucking legwork, not you.
Destiny won the popularity contest. And yes, I consider laughing at the people who got threatened on Twitter for reacting to getting threatened as downplaying Destiny's threats.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
This is why
it's just, it's not funny because it's completely farcical, ridiculous, and he's never going to do it.
Destiny wants to be in Willie Mack's video at all, so he can make his predatory, threatening, and manipulative behavior seem more excusable, more silly, and more charming. Willie Mack is doing PR for a predator, whether he realizes it or not. Reaching out to media manipulators to allow them to provide input on the coverage of their own crimes is really dumb, unless you're trying to do them a favor. Or, the other exception would be if Willie Mack turned on Destiny, going full snake mode, using his second Destiny video to make a complete fool out of him. I'm just not expecting that. I'm expecting another
destroyed Destiny. Absolutely destroyed him, by the way.
Video where Destiny is still somehow billed as being a cut above the rest.
He's the only major creator in the political space that I have covered that actually looks stuff up, reads firsthand information.
That's true.
And directly engages with.
You know, just because he's a scumbag doesn't make it any less true. Now, this guy's aggravated because he pointed something that's usually considered admirable by a person who isn't admirable. The truth doesn't matter. That's all this video tells me.
His critics. That may seem like a low bar, but it's rare.
But hey, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But anything else?
No, you don't. No, you don't, you phony. You're fucking absolutely outraged. You put this goddamn video together. It would be a lot more honest if you said, this guy's a complete piece of fucking shit. And he's not like you sit there and say he's doing PR for a predator. And at the same time, I hope I'm wrong. What a phony you are. What a complete piece of crap. You're just a total dishonest, bad faith jerk off. No more fair reporting. Kangaroo courts. More guilt by association. Exactly.
This is just Willie Mack putting out a press release for Destiny. To be fair, in the clip that Willie shared, Queeman, one of the people who Destiny threatened, said that the person who tweeted out that clip, Yeet, needs to be stomped into the dirt.
Yeah, another reason why it's funny. And you know what? At least was Queeman bitching and moaning and pretending? I'd like to know that. Was Queeman acting? Was he doing the left wing trick where he is like, oh my God, how could he say that? Bah bah bah. I don't even think he would do that. Am I wrong? Chat? Did he try to play victim over this thing? No, only one of you jackasses know. What, Mitch? You know.
You already know the answer. You already know the answer to that question.
Well,
do me a favor.
Queeman defended Tyga.
My point is, did he pretend that this was like a legitimate frat? No, he came back because I like to stomp this fucker out. Not that he'd never do it. And it's a joke from him too, because he's never stomping anybody out.
Be like absolutely kicked into the dirt.
I think he just hates Hassan. But
this guy needs to be stomped into the dirt. This guy.
If you want to say that.
Filth.
Well, that doesn't sound great. It's a little bit.
Oh, it's not as bad because it's not fucking Destiny.
Different than a psychopathic.
So he actively chooses what threat is more serious. By the way, both of them are stupid. Both of them are not literal. Both of them are hyperbole.
Criminal predator who has your docs saying they're going to show up to your house and kill you.
Oh, I did troll the shit out
No, he said he wish he could.
of the DDoS kid.
I'm absolutely sure he wish he could show up to his house and kill him. That I'm sure. Wishes he would.
That's a guy. That's one of the people like
he committed a thought crime.
Legitimately, like I was so you have no like it's actually kind of scary. Like
you know what's really funny? This is in Willie's video too.
How close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family.
Because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times.
Oh my God, I was so close to this address. I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking you have no
glitch poachers. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab those pills and squeeze Squeeze! Go ahead.
Yeah, that's when I first started getting interest in like owning
Come
a
on.
weapon. I got a permit
Squeeze!
gun and everything.
All the red pill people that I fight against, that I say like, you shouldn't do this, is how you
Squeeze!
build
Oh, is that
all of
the
those
guy
things
that
are
was
things that I
Puffy's
do,
girlfriend?
unironically.
He's coming. I can feel it coming. I can
These
feel it coming.
things are not the same at all. For the rest of this video, I'm going to go through a few other clips and then start asking Willie some pointed questions. Knowing the commentary community, they will never be answered.
When I talked to him,
Well, that's the best part. He answered all 5 of them, and all 5 of them are like loaded.
it's just sort of like, bro, you got to take your lumps on this. Like, you fucked up, you're wrong. I don't think anyone's ever lost their career from getting hacked and nudes leaking. So he'll be fine. I don't see why this would end his career.
Yeah, but why would it be getting hacked? It's distributing his close friends' nudes. Don't call it that. I know you're not trying to.
And by the way, Nick's flipped on this one fucking too. He's like, yep, because you can't deny the evidence. Nobody gives a fuck. And nobody gives a fuck because of people like Glitch Poachers, Queeman, and Gisticle. Because they overplayed their hand. This video is ridiculous. It's overplayed. So anybody that wanted to believe it's not true, it's the same thing with like the Michael Jackson thing. Michael Jackson's probably a pedophile. They don't have no direct proof, right? But the people didn't want to believe it when they made that video on him, where that they made that video on it. It turned out to be complete bullshit. People started throwing their support back to Michael Jackson. They started to, oh no, he never molested anybody. Guys sitting there talking about, the best thing you could do is share your bed with your kid. So they make a phony, poorly researched, backwards video on him, and then he gets sympathy again. Same thing with Destiny. You guys want to be all bad faith and have it be taken to liberty. And all it does, it makes honest people and maybe even some dishonest people that want to find a reason to like him and say, oh, the allegations against him or the people that are against him are more insufferable than Destiny himself. I'm just going to keep watching. So you create your own problems.
Minimize it,
Sure.
but he literally backstabbed his friend whilst he's going on Red Pill podcast telling all these other people that they're shit to women or whatever. This guy has absolutely zero fucking principles. He gives relationship advice constantly. Meanwhile, look at his relationship with Melina. I'm sure over the next course of the year we'll learn more about that.
You're totally right, but I have never seen someone's career end over.
By the way, I think Nick would concede on this. And his career's not going anywhere. What was this, 10 days ago? He was pulling 30K when you made this video, you dumb bastard.
Some shit like this.
There's Willie Mack downplaying Destiny's crimes who gets into...
That's not downplay, he's making a bad boy. He's really dishonest, huh? He's pointing out this is not going to do it. Guess what, motherfucker? Hey, look at me. He's not getting canceled. Everything you're saying about this guy's true. He's a total bastard. He's still not getting canceled. Don't matter what Willie Mack thinks. Even if Willie Mack was doing exactly what you were saying he was doing and actually protecting a predator, which is not, you're a liar, he still would have a career. People like you are more responsible for saying, fuck it. I think I'll just watch Destiny anyway because Glitch Poachers is insufferable. Because Queeman is insufferable. Because the anti-DGG crowd is more insufferable than Destiny. It's you!
Corrupted by Nicholas Diorio, commentary's top janitor. Diorio downplays Willie's downplaying of Destiny's crimes, then makes sure that optically they're shitting on Destiny hard enough.
We have the exact same point, but my whole thing is he should take the Hassan playbook where it's like right now,
He hasn't been charged with shit, by the way.
Fucked, I did this bad thing. And then in like 3 months, it turns into like...
He's being sued. That's it.
Like, yeah, I shared some nudes I shouldn't have. And then in like 3 more months, it turns into like, remember when I got hacked and those nudes leaked? And then in like 3 more months, it turns into like, man, last year was just crazy. I can't believe I was targeted.
Oh,
I
it's
think you should
literally
do the
been
full
3
Hassan.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
You guys get some new material?
Yeah. The full Hassan where you just rewrite it.
There's Willie Mack jokingly giving Destiny practical advice on how to get out of this.
No, he's got a better idea what happens online than you. He's going to get away with it. It's unfortunate, but he's going to get away with it. And I tell you something, if he does get away with it, a year from now, the court, here's my challenge to you, Mr. Glitch Poachers. If he settles the case, goes on and has a normal career, 1 to 2 years from now, do you apologize to Willie Mack? That's all he's saying. The reality of the situation is he's going to walk. I've been saying it. I don't like the son of a bitch. I've actually gotten in a fight with him. I never liked him at all. I'm sitting there telling, when Nick was buddies with him, I told everybody he was no good. I said he was a womanizer long before this happened. Completely ignored. Let me guess, jackass. Are you DGG? Ex-DGG? Were you listening to me when I said that shit? No, nobody was. And now you're shocked and appalled. He was telling you when he was popular, before this happened, he was a womanizer. And you all looked the other way because he had your politics. You idiot.
During my off-the-record conversation with Beckett, he asked me a pointed question. When would you associate with Destiny again? If he was part of some drama as a side character and I interviewed him, I would do it then, but I don't think I could just go hang on his podcast anymore. Destiny and I were not friends. However, I have a lot of respect for him. He's the only major creator in the political space that I have covered that actually looks stuff up, reads first-hand information, and directly engages with his critics. That may seem like a low bar, but it's rare.
It is a low bar.
He's somebody that has always demanded accountability from others, but right now when he's objectively in the wrong, he's not taking any of it.
Now this clip deserves a bit more breaking down. Willie Mack gives some vague criteria for when he'll associate with Destiny again. Well, Willie Mack set up an interview with Destiny shortly after.
He gave some direct criteria under the conditions that he would interview him, you liar.
An interview about his ongoing court cases. Something that probably takes a lot of coordination considering that Destiny is being sued.
He doesn't want to comment farther until he's past litigation.
What crime is he charged with? He's not crime in any charge. He's being sued. Civil lawsuit, you fucking liar.
Clarifies.
I can play that game too. I can play that nitpicky bullshit too. You're saying crimes. You're lying. He hasn't been charged with a crime.
Aware that these answers are super unsatisfying, and it sucks it looks super guilty for me to respond this way. And even this might be saying too much, but any statement that I make could become part of a record for any court case, for any number of things that are foreseen and unforeseen to me right now.
By the way, I'll tell you, before you, hey, guy, if you're watching this, just so you know, I'll tell you you don't have to come up with kind of conspiracy theory. I know what's going on behind the scenes in this thing and how people respond to your video behind the scenes. They're laughing at you. They think it's a fucking riot. You know, Willie saw your video, was he shocked? He's like, content. That's how good you are at this. Yeah.
Right now. And there's a possibility that I say something that feels true, but ends up not being true in the future. He then gives an example on how seemingly throwaway comments can lead to big consequences in court.
Willie, if Destiny goes to therapy, we can be friends again. Thanks, Akira. Thanks so much. Bro has his brain glitched out. Yeah. He's just politically captured.
He's right, because honestly, what is he supposed to do? Incriminate himself? He's going to let...
By the way, when and I'm sure he'll never go back on Queeman's stream, that's this is how bad faith they were to him directly, and he handled them.
The legal process.
And by the way, he handled you too in the second video.
Let's play out.
And considering the way Willie Mack laughed at the people who Destiny was threatening,
I laughed at him too.
Something tells me that Willie Mack never had any intention.
That's another thing too. One of the reasons he laughed at him because they were such dickheads, such bad faith dickheads to him. That's one of the reasons. Yeah, I mean, Destiny may be a bigger piece of shit, but he didn't treat Willie poorly.
To stop talking to his e-daddy. Also in this clip, Willie Mack says that he has a lot of respect for Destiny because he looks stuff up and engages with his critics, thus...
That is more than 90% of YouTubers do. It's so fucking rare. And he also says the bar was low.
Clearing a low bar. I know the media standards are low in general, but I suppose that's enough to earn Willie's respect. Be a predator who knows how to use a search engine. Given Willie Mack's low standard...
I don't think he respected that part of his personality. I think he respected the research part. But yeah, have it your way.
And continued association with Destiny, it's important for his audience and the rest of YouTube to get some transparency on this. We deserve to know just how much influence Epstein has had on people like Willie Mack and Nicholas Diorio. It's time for some questions. Since Willie Mack is still associating with Destiny, there's no need to ask for clarification on that. So let's start here. 1. How much and what kind of input did Destiny have on Willie Mack's video?
How much and what kind of input did
you actually don't need to interact with real people.
Speaking of, Willie Mack killed.
Osti donated $5. Willie Mack killed my favorite mom.
How much was the kind of what kind of input did Destiny have on Willie Mack's video? I mean, you know the answer to this. It's a dumb question to begin with because even if he's lying, he's going to say nothing.
So on Destiny, has Destiny had input on Willie Mack's other videos?
Yeah, all of them.
In the initial video.
And you know, this is conspiratorial thinking. And rather than attack the content in the video, you come up with a scenario where somebody else is telling him how to make the video, even though you can't prove that whatsoever. So, and then you come up with a dumb question that only has to be answered. Your cutting edge question, nothing. That's the answer. That's it. Then where do you go from there? Oh, so it's an allegation. It's not really. It's an allegation. It's and a bad faith question.
Were there parts of the conversation between Destiny and Willie that were left out in an attempt to hide Destiny's influence on the video?
Well, no, there is such a thing, and I'm sure some of it was probably incriminating if I had to guess, called off the record. Yeah, and I know. You don't want Willie to do that. Of course, you can't get anybody to trust you unless you do that, unless you have it on the record, off the record, because once he fucking screws Destiny, no one's going to want to deal with him again. He's not going to be able to get in there, right? Unless he, I don't know, goes on a stream with all those other retards and just hurls allegations, and farms outrage.
Particularly in regards to President Sunday and Beckett. 3. Has Willie Mack...
The conversation between Destiny was left out in an attempt to hide Destiny's influence, particularly on Destiny on Beckett. Hey, President Sunday fucked the whole thing up. Are you omitting the fact that the victims are super pissed at both of them?
Mack ever received any funding or payment?
This is conspiratorial thinking. And another question that can be answered simply by no, whether it's true or not. Not very smart. I expect this from sophisticated liberals to come up with better questions.
From Destiny, Dan Saltman, or anyone else associated with Omni-Liberal Studios.
He paid me. That concentration camp guard, Dan Saltman, he paid me a whole bunch of money to do this. And I'm a right-wing conservative, and I'm sticking up for him. How about that? Good money. Jew money.
Destiny's media company. 4. Since Nicholas Diorio has given Dan Saltman optical advice.
But I spoke to him and I'm like, listen, the problem with you and Erudite is you guys knew for months, so you've come to terms with this and you've engaged with it. That's not what the public wants to hear a day after they find out. When you start the initial statement being like, guys, rehabilitation is the answer before anybody gets their licks in, people are going to fucking hate you.
And considering some of the other behind the scenes conversations.
How is explaining to somebody how they fucked up optically showing them support? So after they've already done it, how is that showing any support? Okay, this is why nobody buys your bullshit. Oh, that's showing support. Here's the thing. I have a question for you, sir. What psychotropic substances are you on? And are they prescribed? I bet you won't answer that question.
Conversations that the commentary community has had with Dan Saltman regarding his lawfare against Twitch, among other details alluding to collusion. Can Willie Mack speak to the collusion between the commentary community, Ethan Klein, Destiny, Dan Saltman, and Omni-Liberals?
Can he speak to the conclusion? You're acting as if that's a definite, that there's some kind of conclusion. So it's a loaded question, dishonest and bad faith. You have to find out if there is collusion. You've already decided that there is.
Studios. 5. How much is the
answer? No.
Commentary community, people like Nicholas Diorio, talked about avoiding backlash from Destiny's community or being fearful of Destiny's community or something along those lines.
I think you should put the exact thing that he said. Just me.
Can Willie elaborate on that hidden influence of fear within his community?
Look what happened with Chud Logic and Lauren Southern. He had Melina coming to him and telling him these things directly. And he was put in a position where he can either eat shit and be hated by that community and lose a huge percentage of his audience, to the point where I had to pick up the other half of the slack and help him out.
Can you imagine thinking it this way? The reason Nick didn't come forward, by the way, I had the information beforehand too, but it was third hand, right? Nick wanted because he knows how this works, unlike you don't know anything. Nick knew if he came out with it, it would put the victims in a bad situation. And here's what happens. He comes out and says, this happened. She turns around and says, it didn't, you're fucked. I mean, you're demanding irresponsibility. You're demanding stupidity. And you're framing this as Nick saying he's fearful. No, he's being responsible. And that is the most bad faith. You cannot find anything in Willie's 2 videos that are as bad faith as the way he's framing Nick Diorio right now. There's not one thing in any of Willie's videos that are that bad faith as this.
Right? To keep him afloat. Or he could just leak those messages and be justified immediately.
He does. I do like the calls the commentary community, my community, like I'm the mob boss of the community. That's the way they see it because they want the power. They don't see it. These guys would be, what Jordan Peterson was talking, they'd be right-wingers to his convenience, they'd be left-wingers. It's just the power they want, and they're jealous.
and it would start like a huge conflict. And he did, I guess.
And if he actually, Willie, if he found out who you were and found out that the power interests you the least, and it's just really about, if God came down and showed him like what I know, you could never prove it. You could never prove it to him if you told him, or if you had a million. But if God himself came down and said, "Nah, Willie does this for a laugh and he wants to do it right," his head would explode because he doesn't believe anybody's like that. What? Go ahead.
Why would God waste his time on YouTube drama?
I don't know, but if he did, Jesus Christ.
I think he's got bigger shit to worry about. Have you heard of Israel?
He's not doing a great job over there, though. God, could somebody win? Jesus Christ. Hey, flip a fucking coin, God. Jesus Christ.
He did the right thing by loyalty.
It's time that we get an understanding of just how much coordination, fear, and middle school shenanigans go into making it seem like someone like Willie Mack is a journalist.
You sound like Alex Jones. You really do. You're just assuming stuff is there that's happening. It's definite whether you can prove it or not.
Destiny is a real political pundit, like Diorio is a media expert. They're not.
Honestly,
they're not.
Sorry.
Full stop. End sentence. They're not. All right, sure. Yeah, of course they're not. They're fucking YouTubers, you moron.
I think that I understand that we have to keep our jobs and we have to make sure that our jobs are important by telling people how important they are.
We're all drama mongers and
that's the best clip he had. Destiny's a psychopath. We have to say
you actually don't need to interact with real people ever.
No, you don't. Well,
God donated $5. I was waiting for my son to get out of that cave just this last Sunday, so I had time to catch up on the Don't judge your father.
Correct. Thanks, God.
Tension.
You give it more than $5 next time. Thank you.
But now we're talking about a criminal who uses their platform to
lose. A criminal. He hasn't been charged. You've lied throughout this. If I took the same, way of looking at things that you do, taking hyperbole literally, because that's the way. If I would watch this, I would take I wouldn't take your hyperbole literally, right? Because it is. That's all it is. Because he hasn't been charged with a crime. He's getting sued. It's a civil lawsuit that'll probably be settled. I know, and you and President Sunday can commit fucking Harry Carey when it's over. You know, if I held that to you, you're spreading disinformation. Disinformation.
We're in their victims.
Jesus Christ! You see who's in chat?
Yeah, Willie.
No, it's the official Kevin Blacko!
We're talking about a commentary YouTuber who is friendly enough with them to coordinate and secure an interview about their crimes before the lawsuit is over. It's time we know who's in bed with who. If Willie Mack doesn't answer these questions, and I'm betting he won't, then
he did.
I would advise everyone to disregard his coverage of
Glitch Poacher says disregard. All right. Everybody stop. Everybody's going to listen. What an egomaniac you are to think anybody would take this mildly seriously.
Destiny. He is too close to him to be reliable. This is not the time for Keemstar-esque chicanery. I guess we'll find out how much
It's funny. All the Keemstar-esque people do a better job than the ones that are completely politically captured or claim the right or the left. It's funny. And that's actually the best way to go about it, is not to have some kind of like rigid political ideology. Out of all of them, I'm probably the most rigid in my political ideology. But guess, when was the last big fucking interview I got in a situation like this? I didn't. They did.
Willie has when he drops his video. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to discourage Willie Mack from making his follow-up video or releasing the interview.
I'm just trying to discourage everybody from watching it before it was made.
While I think Destiny is going to do whatever he can to control the narrative and public perception.
What a shock. Boy, did you come up with that one on your own?
And I don't think Willie is all too aware of how prone to Destiny's influence.
Yeah, he's not as sophisticated as you.
He is. If Willie interviewed him about his crimes, then the public should see that interview. Uncut. It's like he's...
No, not uncut. Not uncut. Because the thing is, people could misspeak. People like you would take it out of context. No, not uncut. You do it like a journalist. It's serious stuff we're talking about, right? So it should be done seriously, not with a slant, not what you demand.
He said it's worth having out there. Plus, Willie already teased the interview on YouTube and tweeted about it. The public should also know more about the nature.
By the way, you sound autistic. The public could not. You sound like a fucking robot. No wonder none of these guys can get a decent-sized following. They all sound, there's no personality. There's no love. There's no heart. And that's one thing Destiny's got over these guys like a 10. Is rotten he is, and I have no doubt. What did we went down the hair checklist, right, Jeannie? What was 13 out of 20?
Yeah, we did that.
It was like 13 out of 20. Was like 13 out of 20 he hit. Like, and some of it was undeniable. Undeniable.
Yeah, like those 13 out of 20 that we said, like, okay.
There was the one thing, like
10 of them that we were for sure. Like,
yeah, there's 10 of them, and there's 10 there was 10 that Destiny couldn't deny. You know, there was 10.
So it's okay for somebody to fuck your wife so long as you got personality.
Yes.
Okay, good to know. All right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you want to be popular,
continue to be a cardboard box.
A pet rock, a doormat.
Of Willie and Destiny's relationship, and if Willie Mack wants to make a narrative about Destiny's crimes, he's free to do so.
Well, thank you, egomaniac.
Hope he handles it more responsibly than I'm expecting him to. Shout out to the best subscriber squad in all of YouTube. I hope everyone.
Oh my God, he's doing hit that, smash that like button, subscriber squad, rock and roll.
Has a wonderful day.
Has a wonderful day. This is Glitch Poachers. I am creative. Mom told me I was smart when I was a kid.
All you need to know about Destiny and like crazy making people is to watch him.
You don't need to interact with real people ever.
What's that?
WILLMACSHOW donated $5. It's all true. It's actually worse than Glitch thought. I wasn't his student. I was the teacher. Me and Destiny had a deal. I'll bring him the women and he gives me advice on how to get political.
I taught him how to be a successful predator.
All you need to know about Destiny and like crazy making people is to watch.
What'd you say? I like my German.
Why is your dono sound half Asian, half German?
I don't know. I think she's her name is Lee Strausenberg. Lindy Strausenberg. That's why. I don't know. I knew an Asian girl named Lindy. That's why. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see.
All you need to know about Destiny and like crazy making people is to watch him argue with Merc off the perk about her allegation that he had like tried to make a move one night when they were sleeping together in the same bed. But you have to go watch that.
You know these guys are moron kids, right? Live with their parents, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, imagine living with your parents.
Yeah, this is the guy.
Call her insane repeatedly. Yeah, it's
How are you guys all
sure, more characters.
Inbred, dude? That's fucking insane. This community is. You guys are. Do you guys?
I don't know why are you? I don't know why.
Excuse me.
You would take this. Dude, this guy like recorded people against it. Why would you take this line? You're like literally discrediting people who are trying to tell.
No. I mean, inbred. That's not.
You understand? You're like the tool of him right now.
And by the way, Justical would go on to say he never watched the video. He's speaking with this kind of arrogance and authority, and he would go on. They find out he didn't even watch the fucking thing, or all of it. And all these guys are retarded kids. Beckett's a nice guy. She's a fucking bimbo, a dishonest bimbo, and we'd find that in Willie's video. And well, it's weird. We've come to expect that.
Now, right? When you do that.
By inbred, I mean
you didn't mean inbred as an insult.
Oh my God, they're gonna split hairs with that.
I mean inbred isn't you all spawn from this Destiny community. Are all of you guys tied to DGG?
He's probably right, and probably you are too. They're total retards. And here's another thing.
Hoax, the Covington smear, and
I'm waiting for this. I think some of them will go back to DGG if he walks away with this from a year or two. They'll all start sucking his ass again. That's what happened with my kid. These guys get kicked out of communities and they go back to another one. They want to be, take me back. No. And then all they need to do is like Queemy needs to turn Justical in, or Justical needs to turn drop some DMs on them, and they're back in. They just fuck each other and eat each other. That's all that needs to happen. I've seen it before.